Some talk of a split within your party, and they will talk of Team Defiance and Team Compliance. They say you belong to Team Compliance, complying with the regime, not too eager to defy what it is doing, to stand up against it. How do you respond to that?
Well, there are two tendencies. I don't think it's a split. And of course, it's legitimate. I have no problem at all in people believing in different methods. I believe in civil disobedience as a legitimate tool of political action. I recognize that. I have participated in it in physical terms. I have also backed it up in terms of decisions that we make in the party. We have formed committees. We have financed all those operations. But the problem we have in this country is the levels of dishonesty are frightening. I watch some leaders who go on TV and give comments which are absolutely deceptive. I chair all these meetings where we fund activities connected to Defiance. There is no decision that has ever come into the party, and we have manipulated it. I accept that there is a path that you can choose, different paths, and once they are legitimate, the only thing that remains is how to coordinate them. The only thing I don't agree with is for one tendency to say it can only be this and none else. That would be so myopic. Why do I say so? Because like in the case of using civil disobedience as a legitimate tool for ousting a regime, once it is effective and you oust the regime, then you need a vehicle through which you will govern. Because we are not just taking power as an end in itself. We want to take power so that we can transform this country, so that we can deliver services. So there's absolutely no problem in some of the colleagues concentrating on civil disobedience, as others concentrate on party development. Because if you succeed to oust the regime using civil disobedience, fine, then the party comes in, because or of the different tendencies and the same party, and then you manage a country. But in the event that civil disobedience doesn't succeed, and then you get into an electoral period, then you are well prepared now to switch into that mode and oust the regime through an electoral process. Experience should have taught us that, because we have had many times when we've engaged in civil actions, but then we reach an electoral period when the regime is still there. And then we find the only option now left is go into an electoral process. So if this is not so obvious to any of the leaders, what kind of, why would leaders be in leadership positions if they can't recognize that there is no conflict, that these different approaches can only be complementary? It baffles me. I just simply can't understand. I have repeatedly said this from 2010 until now, that these two methods are not in conflict. They are complementary. The only problem I notice is that when people tend to want to use the method that they would be involved in, and they almost want to make it a badge of entitlement, that cannot be the only problem. I have noticed it happened to us when we were in the bush. Because even in the bush we had two tendencies. There are those who are saying that they are, you know, we had officers who had been trained in Munduri, who wanted to use a commandist approach in terms as a basis for developing the army. You command and there is no question. And then there are those of us who had been in the universities. They used to refer to us as intellectuals. And we were saying, no, we left a dictatorship behind. We can't create one here in the bush. We must change methods. We must change the management style. We must change everything to ensure that we build an institution. It kept on, you know, those two tendencies kept on contending. One had tendencies of warlordism. The other was saying, no, we are using military means a legitimate tool of change of government, but our focus is political. We want to ensure that we democratize. We want to ensure that we put good governance principles in place to become a foundation on the basis of which we can change society. The contestation continued, and eventually we can see what happened. When we got here, the other tendency believed that, you know, we fought. It is our legitimate right to a sense of entitlement developed in their minds, that because we had weapons, we were few, 15,000 by the time we took the country. The rest of the country was there watching as the country was being raped, and therefore that gives us the legitimate right to do whatever we want to do. And the results of it is what we see now.
General,
that sense of entitlement has a
Ugandans
problem. So when you find some of the colleagues saying, no, it can only be this. No, it can't only be one thing. You must be able to recognize that, okay, even if you go on a street, which is legitimate, some of us have been on that street. Others may continue. Whatever path we choose to take eventually, or no, that becomes more effective in changing the regime. My hope is that when we get into power, it doesn't give us then again that sense of entitlement to say we are the ones who did this, and therefore we can do whatever we want to do, because I see it creeping into us, and it's dangerous, and we must guard against it.
What guarantee on general should there be?
And at times it creates a sense of arrogance to put yourself in a position to be the one to judge, say you you can be recognized because you are doing this. Everybody must have a right to do whatever they can do within their means, within their inclination, as long as we are all moving for a common purpose.
All right, granted.